Hey everybody, Mr. Reeves back with you again, and I wanted to make a short video on absolute value and opposites of numbers. All right, so what I have up here on the screen is a number line going from -16 to +16. Right here in the middle, we have the number 0. Of course, everything over here to the right of 0, these are positive numbers, right? So we can write over here positive numbers, right? And everything over here to the left of 0 are negative numbers. All right, so positives to the right of 0, negatives to the left of 0, and 0, of course, is neither positive nor negative. All right, so let's talk first about opposites, and then we'll talk about absolute value. All right, so if I were to come here and choose a number like 5, say, all right, that number is +5. It is 5 units to the right of 0. And then if I click over here, and that one is -5. All right, it's negative because it's it's negative because it's to the left of 0, and it's -5 because it's 5 units away, right? In fact, if we do our handy dandy little marker here, right? So we go right there. That's a +5 going that way. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's get that in the trash right there and try this again. Here we go. Now I'm going to actually come right around here, but I'm going to flip it around the other way, right? Okay. And so, in fact, if I were to type on here, we could say that this one is, why is it not coming up? I don't know why it's not letting me type 5 in there. All right, for some reason, there we go. So that one is 5 that way, and that one is, there we go. It's 5 that way, okay? So they are both 5 away. So they are opposites because one is 5 to the right and one is 5 to the left. So we say that 5 is the opposite of -5. Or we could say -5 is the opposite of +5. Both are true. It goes both ways. Okay, so opposites are on the opposite side of 0, right? 0, or the origin right here, right? Okay, they're on the opposite side of 0, and they are the same distance away, right? Same distance. Same distance. So again, opposites, they go the opposite direction. This one goes to the right. This one goes to the left. So they are on opposite sides, and they are the same distance away. All right. So what if I were to stretch this out some more? That way. And I said, okay, now we're going to get rid of this one here. And I'm going to instead put one right here. Let's see if we can do that and make that 9. Now I want to know, okay, what is the opposite? By the way, that is not going to be 5 anymore. What is it going to be? It's going to be 9 now. Whoops. Not 59. We want 9, right? So now that distance is 9. Well, those aren't opposites anymore. They're on the opposite side of 0, but they're not opposites, right? So I would have to take this and I would have to stretch it the same distance away, right? So now what do we want? We want that to be 9, correct? And we want to get rid of that one there and instead put a number here, and that's going to be our -9. Okay? So 9 is the opposite. 9 is the opposite of -9, right? 9 is the opposite of -9, or again, we could say -9 is the opposite of +9. So again, one more time. Opposites go the opposite direction of 0. One to the right, one to the left, and they are the same distance away. Same distance, same distance. Okay? So that's what opposites are. All right, and that idea of opposites is very closely related to something we call absolute value. Absolute value. Let me write that down. Absolute value. Okay? So absolute value is that distance that we were talking about, that distance away from 0. Okay, so for these ones we have here, we said that 9 and -9 were opposites, right? So if I said, what is the absolute value of 9? The absolute value, actually I'll start with -9. The absolute value of -9 is that distance. And what is that distance? It is 9, because distance is never negative. And then if I said, what is the absolute value of 9? Well, that is also 9, right? That distance is 9 there. So, absolute value is the distance away. How far is it from 0 to 9? It's 9, right? That's that distance. How far is it from 0 to -9? It is also 9. Okay, and by the way, we have a symbol for absolute value. All right, so the absolute value symbol is 2 vertical lines like that. Okay, so we would say the absolute value of -9 is 9, and the absolute value of +9 is also 9. All right. Okay, another way to think about it, absolute value just takes any negative number and makes it positive. All right, and takes a positive number and keeps it the same. And by the way, the absolute value of 0 is 0. Let me try that again. The absolute value of 0 is 0. 0 is the only number whose absolute value is not positive. Okay, because 0 isn't positive, but all the rest are positive because distance is never negative. All right? All right, so if we go back here, and I'm going to change this back to where we were before. Whoops, that's not what I want to grab, Mr. Reeves, is it? Let me try to get that. I'm going to grab this back. Remember, we were at 5 before. I'm going to change that one, and I'm going to mark this one off as 5, right? And then I'm going to change that one, and I'm going to mark that one back to 5. Okay, so 5 is 5 units to the right. Going to go ahead and grab this one, move this one back here, right? Going to get rid of that there, and instead we're going to put this one back where we had that. This one is at -5, right? Okay, but this distance is never negative, so the distance is 5, right? So if we were to say that right here, if I were to say the absolute value of -5, what does it equal? It equals 5. And if I were to ask you what is the absolute value of +5, it also equals 5, right? Does that make sense? From 0 to -5 is 5, and from 0 to +5 is 5. All right, one last thing, and then I'm going to end this video. Let's go ahead and take that off and take that one off. All right. Now, what if I said two different numbers have an absolute value of 10? So let me grab this one here. Oops, get this lined up here. All right. Two different numbers have an absolute value of 10. Whoa, not 10 cents. What did I do there? What was that? 10. All right. In other words, I'm saying, what can you take the absolute value of and get an answer of 10, right? So I could go 10 to the right, or I could go 10 to the left. Well, if I go 10 to the right, where do I end up with? I end up at what? I end up at 10. So if I click on here, I could say the absolute value of 10 is 10. And if I click over here, I could say the absolute value of negative 10 is 10. So if I give you the problem, and this is how we do it algebraically, we say what has an absolute value of 10? Well, x can equal negative 10 or x can equal positive 10. Okay? So x equals negative 10 or x equals positive 10. There are two values, two numbers who have the same absolute value, because again, you can always go to the right and go to the left. All right, that's it for this short little video. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you now understand the idea of opposites and absolute value. If not, you might just want to watch this video again. Thanks for watching. See you next time.